Why, hello again. This is another video. This one is on Railmaster and a DCC turntable and how to convert one from DC. So one thing we first need is a turntable. This particular one has been sent down from my mate Stephen Scott up in Sunderland for me to do this video. Stephen is actually the one who actually set up the Facebook page and also the website as well, and we're in constant contact basically every day using FaceTime. So we're actually saying, oh, this is what you do here and that's what you do there, and it's a lot easier to work with people and doing that. Also, if you're doing something on the computer as well, you can actually see what each other is doing. So it's one thing we actually do. So first of all, if you go on to Hornby website, you can pick up this and download it, which is the actual turntable itself and how to fit it up and connect it. And also there is another one, which is this one, which is turntable conversion and how to convert it. One thing it actually does is give you this wiring diagram. Now you get a decoder. Now my decoder is actually a Hornby R8249, which is a 4-function decoder. You can use any one, I presume. But what you've got to do is cut the plug off the end and take the cables up, and you use the red and the black, which then go through a connection like that and go to your track as a track feeder, and then the grey. And in the paperwork it says orange, but on this decoder I've had from them, it's pink. And those two cables go to the two cables that go to your motor inside there. So what I'll actually do is I'll go now around and show you what that is. Here's the decoder. There. And there's a little plug. As I see, what I've actually done is I've just put sellotape over them, because when this goes back to Steve, I shall just take this off and reconnect these cables. There's the red and black, which are connected to the track feed, and the other two, as I said, is a grey and an orange. This is pink. Now when I did this and connected up exactly as it was on the diagram, what would happen is when I wanted the turntable to go left, it went right, and when I wanted to go right, it went left. The way to do it actually is to change those two cables round, to swap them round, and the turntable works right. It might work right for you, but that's what I have to do in this particular case. Also, is that in this little hut here, that is where the motor is, and this is where all the gears are. And what they actually say is to tuck this in there. Now if that starts getting warm, I reckon that could actually do some problems with the decoder. So what you really need to do is to put this through the track and put them in a little box of some description, or cover them up under your track so it's out of the way. Another thing is with this little hut, is you see there's the motor. It can get a bit noisy. As an experiment, what I've actually done is just put a piece of polystyrene inside just to cover it up, and that just fits in there. One thing with the turntable itself, it's got 14 points. On the diagram on Railmaster there are only 12. So there are parts where this will actually turn to a position and there's no rail there actually. This is the one which is the coming off one of your feeder tracks, and those connections there have to touch those rails there. And what that actually does is puts a feed underneath here to these two rails here. Now one thing you've got to do, this is my main feed coming in, and actually in fact what I've got here is this is red, that is black. And then when you get round to these, which are of course insulated from there because there's a gap between those two, you've got to make sure that these are correct to the other side. So over there is red and that is black, that has got to be red and black the same. and do that with all those. Now these just clip in, but I've done an experiment and found out this is a piece of Pico flexible track and actually fits. All you've actually got to do is where that piece of a clip is there, underneath, cut the little plastic tie underneath, and they will clip in, and that is how you connect it. So you can actually do a piece directly from here into your sheds or into sidings without having to have these joints here. The only thing is that they actually stand on little legs, so you might have to just pack them you really got to pack them here anyhow, but you need to pack them just to make sure it doesn't bounce, so you don't lift these up so that they're higher than what the rail is there. So that is the way you can actually do it on that. And what I actually do is I've actually got this, which is a Train Tech track tester, and you can just make sure that everything, if you go into here, on there, and when it was on there, make sure that they're all exactly in the right polarity. So that is a little thing that I use, £5 from Train Tech, brilliant little thing, especially if you've got points and that. So now we'll actually go round to the siding itself. Now what I've actually done a little bit of a program, so what I'll actually do is actually go onto here and go down here where I've actually got the plan, and that's it. Now then, if I go into a Hornby plan setup, which is this, I've actually got one set up here, of course. If I go down here to the turntable, which is there, what it actually is, as I've said before, that's got 14, the turntable's got 14 on. There are only 12 places on here. There is a gap there, there's one there, one there, and one there. You can't get one of these pieces of track and put it there. It will not go. You can only put them on those 12 points. And what you do to set it all up is you go to right click on the turntable and you actually see loco decoder. That is the decoder port number. I've actually got just 3 because this decoder is just mine for doing the testing. And this startup position is where you want that to be when it starts up. So you can actually go 1. If I went to 4, it'll actually go to there. If I actually go to 2, it'll go to there. But I've actually got it set up as 1, which is there. So that's the way you do that. So that comes out of there. So I will actually now expand this up to 150, so it's a bit bigger to see. There is a few ways you can actually operate this. One is by this. If you've got a touch screen, you just touch the screen. This isn't a touch screen, so I'm alright with this. All you do is this side of the turntable, you click it and the turntable will go anti-clockwise. Click this side and it'll go clockwise. Another one you can actually use is, I use this in my system. Yeah, I can actually use this to operate it as well. So all I do is put in the train that I want, which is 3 on there, and I can operate the turntable off that. If you haven't got one of these and you've only got the Elite, what you can actually do is use one of these, which is your train units. So you'd actually go into the train part when it decides to work. My screen is not moving. All you do is you go into your train that you want. Let's take that back down here just for a minute. Right. This is not working properly now. All you do is you put in the code number of your train, you do left and right, and that is the way that will operate. So what we've got here is, actually it was in the plan, nice, my mistake. There's all my trains, and right at the bottom is a turntable there. And actually all I've got to do is go left and right, and those are your speeds. The shunt, really, you don't want to use. That is, you can make the thing go faster or slower by that, by altering the cruise speed on the unit. So I'll actually show you this in operation. So first of all is, if I go to this one here, if I click on this side, like that. What will happen now is the turntable will start to operate. I think this is quite a reasonable speed. In the computer there is a log which tells you it is speed 40 and the time is 19.4 seconds. You can actually go in the log and change it around if need be, but I think that's quite adequate, that one is. So we now go, just a minute, I think the clock's going to go off. As I said, it is loud. That is 10:30. When it goes on the chimes as well, it's great fun. So all we do now is go onto the right side of that, click that, and it'll now go back to where it started. If you're doing it by program, which I'll show you that in a second, what you've got to do is you've got to time it with a stopwatch from there to there, and that's called the dwell between the two. So when it starts there to when it stops there, you've got to count the seconds. I can do it on my iPad quite easily. I've got a stopwatch on there so I can actually do the timings. So that is the way I do it on this. Now on this controller here, all I've got to do there is to turn this up and actually go fast. I can make it go faster than it really is. As I said, when it gets to the dwell, you've got to turn the thing off and then reverse it. See, I was a bit too quick there, so I've got to. This is why doing it at a slow speed is a lot better. So you can do it by that, or as I said before, you can do it by this. So you can go up this way round. And stop it and go forward and go the other way and make it go that way. And that's the way you can do it on there. Now, as I said, you can do a program. So we actually go into the program. I've actually got one sitting in the air, but I'll just go show you what you do. It's turntable. You set it up. What you've got to do is put the start time. I just put this as 0. The resource, which is there, it is that which is other functions, and it'll actually show you straight away that it's a turntable. And in here, what you've got here is you've got clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and anti-clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which means that 8 is a complete reversal of the turntable. So say if I had to go to there and go to clockwise 1 and do that and come out, that's it. All I've got to do now is to go to turntable. You can make as many of these up as you want if really, but if I do that now, what it'll actually do, as you can see, this is using its normal speed, which is in Hornby Railmaster itself, which is quite a nice speed as far as I'm concerned. So you've got that, and that is that. So you'd have to time that between one and the other. Now all I've got to do to bring that back is to go this side, click that, and it'll actually come back again. There is another way you can actually do this. I'll show you this in a second, once this is done this little operation. So say if you do it too fast, that motor will squeal at you. The other way is to do it by voice. I'm actually going to use a microphone and not my headset for this. It's a bit easier to talk to you. So when I do this, I will actually not talk, otherwise this computer will pick it up. So we're getting ready to start.
Railmaster voice control ready.
Turntable, clockwise. So I can actually use clockwise, or I can do left or right, which I'll show you. Say the turntable is going the right way. That's it. Turntable left. So that is the way you can actually operate it by the voice control as well. The only thing with the voice control, just turn that off as well out of the way, and I shall take this speakers out as well, is when you want to turn it all the way around, you've got to say anti-clockwise or left, 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 left for every one of them points. Whereas if you use the program, you can do it, just leave one program for, say, 100, make it as 180. Then the turntable will swing around 180 and turn the train round. So that is the way that we actually operate that. Now what I'll start to do is, as I said, I'll just show you this on the screen here. Where's my little train? There's my little train. I'll actually now go forward and bring it onto the or I can go back. One thing you must remember is that sometimes when the train is on there and this turntable's going, these tracks are still live. So this train will actually move if you actually touch the train while it's on there. So all you got to do is do that and it'll go on and off with no problem at all. So with that, I can actually go off to the other end, or bring it back and come this way as well. Now if you want to get hold of me, as I said before, you can get hold of me on 01782 302194. We have the Facebook page where all the exhibitions are on as well. So this is another one, and thank you very much for your viewing. Thank you. Bye.